You're happy.
Okay, let me start please. So guys, this is a video, this is the family here, and we have something special, all of us here. We're here for a reason, first of all, we're here vacationing, having fun. It's almost midnight and you can see, like people, they're a little bit bad. So whatever you hear, don't believe it, But
don't believe it?
Believe it.
No. They're telling nothing but the truth. When people are there, that's the time they tell the whole truth.
True.
So,
nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
What's special about this moment is all of us here, or I'll say 80% of us here had a COVID. So we'll share something about the COVID experience. We had it at a different point. Some of them had it early on. Some of them had, like around August, and also there's some that had, they hang out, and they ended up, having a COVID party.
COVID party.
Yeah,
They
so
sprayed everything.
yeah, so
Did not get it.
without delay, we'll start talking about it. Like we'll start with Moses here. For him,
He's the
just a quick.
oldest.
He's the oldest. He's a nurse, so he's a
Is
healthcare.
an ass?
He's a healthcare professional. He's a healthcare giver. So he got it.
Okay, Mose, go for it.
Yeah, Moses.
Go for it.
It's your time. You can talk about it. Your experience. First giving care to the people who had COVID, and you ending up.
You
in the
ended up
same
ending
boat.
up with it.
Yes.
Hey, ilikuwa ngumu. The life, that's hard life. It was initially very scary, and everybody was. I'm talking about the first wave. So see, tulikuwa tunafanya yeah. At that point, you get the first patient, and nobody wants to take care of that patient. Kila mtu ataka stay away, but eventually, yeah, you get the second one, the third one, the fourth one. So hakuna option. So you have to go in. And that went on for a very long time. Kila mtu, you're taking all the precautions. Because we did not know what COVID was about at that point. Kila mtu anafikiria sijui ni hand sanitizing, ni don't touch your face, don't do this, don't do that. Come to find out, COVID is airborne. Yeah? So it was very hard actually. Me for some reason, sijaifanya kazi that hard in a very long time. Until I took care of COVID patients because of going in and out of rooms, doing all the cleaning and all that stuff. You are hyper vigilant at that point, and just being in the battle zone and not knowing how you can catch COVID, I ended up catching it because of all the things that were going on at that time. I wasn't the first one or the second one. I probably was the 15th one in the hospital. And actually I was very surprised because I'm like, I am the most vigilant one of all of them. Na ni mimi nilipata. So ndio ilikuja kujishuku kwani nini, what was I doing wrong? But only come to find out, faulty equipment, the wrong protocols na vitu kaa hizo, but all in all COVID, it did not, it was tough that period. Yes, unakaa kwa, you isolate, but really being isolated is not the cure. You need to get out. As soon as I got out of the house, I started feeling better.
Oh yes.
So did you go out to the crowd, or you're still isolating
No, of course,
outside?
of course. I took my boat out. I was all by myself, just being out in nature, fresh air, yeah, where you can, you can see the, you can. There's, you can, unanyeshewa, there's rain, it's yet like in a protected cocoon. It was a very, very rough time at that point. Yeah?
Wow.
But I started feeling better when I started getting out.
Yeah, I agree with that because I think even I'm on the same boat. Like I was sicker when I was in the house. The four walls, they just do something, to you. You get messed up. You feel sick. So mostly like when I started getting out, and running and just doing my things out there, it helped me to get better. But asking about like you experienced the whole sickness and all that. How severe were you, and how were you able to?
My worst symptoms were the headaches. I could not stand the headaches. I could not stand the headaches, and you could not shake them off. That was the worst thing. Yeah, when you have a headache, you can't sleep, you can't sit, you can't stand. Because it's just a nagging feeling. You lose your equilibrium. You're nauseous because you have a headache. You lose your appetite because you have a headache. You're cranky because you have a headache. Everything rotates around that.
Wow.
And my oxygen levels did not fall below 93. So I knew I was okay because I was doing what I needed to do. Doing the IS, breathing exercise, incentive spirometry. Doing the IS, checking it, I was doing all that stuff, whatever I needed to do. And yes, I coughed a little bit, but maybe for 2 days. And the biggest thing was my savior was getting out of the house after the first week. Yeah.
So I have a follow-up question because it's funny you're mentioning that because one of the biggest things that everyone is doing right now is, you buy something from the store even before you get it in the house, you sanitize it, you clean it and all that. So are you saying in any way from a healthcare professional point of view, we are going overboard with cleaning stuff because of the fear of contact places?
Yes.
Versus we should be worried more about, masking up.
Masking up, and wearing the right masks, because even the surgical mask is not going to help you.
Really?
Yes.
So what's the right mask?
You need an N95 mask, but those because it has not been publicly. What you say publicly is airborne. You need a mask that's gonna prevent those. It will filter out airborne pathogens, pretty much. Yeah.
Interesting.
A surgical mask is not gonna do you any good.
So neither does double masking, right?
You double masking. Actually, you'll probably stand a better chance than single masking. Lakini, when if you wear the cloth masks, you might as well just put a paper towel there, pretty much, or a toilet paper, because it does not do you any good.
Wow.
No, even like the way you say N95, they say like N95, it's filter 95%. Still there's
still a chance, yeah.
A chance you can
Still a
get it.
chance.
There's about 5%.
Yeah.
Wow. And not all of us here walipata COVID. So Caro, you among wale wa kushikwa.
Yeah,
Now, how was it?
yeah.
You had to live with Mose. He has COVID. You have kids in the house. How was that experience? Because you have to isolate, and at the same time, you need to be the caregiver. How was that experience?
It was hard.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it was the most easiest thing you can ever do. It was hard because you don't know the outcome. So when you're talking to the patient, and I call him the patient because he's the one with the COVID, you can see the struggle because you're taking the person you're used to and this person who has COVID. So the difference kind of kills you because
They're
you
not
know
the same.
that they're not the same people. But then you have kids, you're worried. What if it happens to me? What if it happens to the kids? And what if Simba gets it?
Simba is her dog, people.
So you kind of have to think. You have to play. It's like you're playing with all those scenarios. But I kind of saw him suffer, and when he would not pick up my calls, because sometimes he would fall dead asleep, I would just throw him in that bedroom, just to go see where he is. Oh, is he okay?
Make sure he's breathing. Yeah.
But I would say it wasn't easy because all my coworkers too had it. So I was like, it was just a matter of time before he came.
You were the lucky one, and you still didn't get it, right?
No.
I know you were lucky.
And you know, like talking about that, you know, like Mungai, you are the first one to, you know, like within this family to get COVID. You know, when COVID, everyone thought, you know, like
It was a death
No, the
sentence.
funny
It was a
thing-
death sentence.
Oh yeah. I even remember the day. It was on Wednesday. I got the positive test.
Yeah.
April 23rd.
April.
that's 2020.
What time?
Oh.
I think it was around maybe 1.
Dang, he didn't even know the time.
No, because it was scary. And
I know.
the funny thing is, like, when I got tested, I knew like there was something wrong because they called me. Everybody else, like, they will come, and because we were doing like the breakthrough testing, so they will come and put the results in your windshield.
So they do the results
Oh,
at
they
the
told you
same
to
time,
have the
around
window
the
closed.
same time that you get the
Yeah,
test.
yeah. They tell you to wait for 15. I think it was 25 minutes. So for me, I see everybody who I was following, they got their results, and then I see the lady in the door making a call, and then my phone ring.
Oh.
I'm like,
Oh, so
no.
for you she didn't come.
No, because now
come
she,
to
she didn't come to me because she had to give me some clear direction what to do and to call the nurse, the city nurse, all those kind of stuff.
Wow.
And then I had to call Miriam. That was
It
no
was
easy.
like a light death
Yeah,
sentence.
that was
Is
no
that
easy.
when
So-
you had to have your car blinking hazard light on?
When you
Or
test
the-
positive.
Yeah.
When you test for.
Yeah.
No, they didn't tell me that, but I just took off and went home, trying to think what's next.
What
now.
next?
What am I gonna tell my parents? I was like, oh shoot.
And you know that's when it had just begun.
Yeah.
Everybody thought it was a death sentence. You know?
But the good thing is I didn't have like severe symptoms, like, but I still had symptoms. I couldn't eat for a couple of days.
So,
Some
About the
headache, hallucination, some weird dreams. They're not stopping. They're on constant.
and I bet it was hard because I kind of feel like when initially when it came out and people started getting it, it came with a lot of stigmatization.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, people didn't want to talk to you. You know, like you got isolated, in not just for you to get better or for quarantine per se, but like it had a lot of stigma associated
Oh yeah,
to it.
yeah. And everybody was afraid. Like
Everybody
even I
freaked
remember,
out.
yeah, freaked out. Like I told my sister, she couldn't eat. She's like,
Oh yeah.
She
like
couldn't even
she's
stand.
yeah, she was like, he's dead. I'm like, and now I call my little sister, the last one. She's like, oh, they didn't take you. I'm like, where? You know, at home they used to take people like if
Yeah.
you got COVID, they
Yeah,
come and
you put in a
in isolation.
public is
Or
isolation.
even I think in China they used to do that.
Yeah.
When there was a public isolation. So I'm like, no, I'm in my house. It's like, where are you staying? Upstairs? what about the others? It's like they're gonna get sick, and no, it's like
You know the
you. Oh, we not.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened. No, I think it's still on.
Oh.
So I remember you as Mungai when you got tested. It was scary. All of us were like, "What, Mungai?"
Yeah, I
has-"
know.
Everybody was calling left
Yeah.
and right.
No, you
Yeah.
can't go
Every
from
single
home.
day.
Yeah.
And actually, that but Mose, you say without
Wow.
the breathing machine.
Yeah.
That was good.
Mose literally bought a breathing machine and got it shipped immediately. He got it within a day,
Wow.
I think.
And the same thing you saying, like you can't just sit there or sleep. You have to exercise,
Yeah.
walk around. We used to walk around the room.
Yeah.
And with the little kids, how was it? Because you have a 3 or 4 year old, and
Actually, we used to video chat a lot. So,
Oh.
but they knew they couldn't come upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah.
wow.
It was hard because it was right at the beginning. I was taking care of him and taking care of the kids, and then working at the same time. And then they had online school. So when he was around, he was helping with that, with the kids and their online school, because obviously they are dependent on us. Now everything is on me,
On you.
on top of the worry, not sleeping at night wondering what is he doing, how is he breathing, should I go in and check? Keep calling, wondering, texting, are you okay? And then
Which was annoying. Most
By the way,
because you're trying to sleep.
And everyone, oh,
let us know now. Let us
that's funny.
Now you forget about the
No,
trouble.
the thing is like, when you're sick, you don't want anybody to bother you.
Right.
Like she didn't check on you, you'll be like, she didn't even check on me.
No,
Yeah,
really.
yes,
Once in a
Marcy,
yeah.
yes.
Sometimes there's too much and it's just enough.
No, but it's the unknown factor from the other side. Because I
Yes.
remember, like, when we are calling,
Yeah.
like, I could storm into the room. This one was worst patient, COVID patient ever. Him.
How do you know?
Because he would not pick up calls from anyone.
Oh yeah.
I called him,
Okay.
he only picked up from Faith, and Faith is the one who said, "You're doing okay. Don't bother Uncle, he's okay."
But she called, I think, within the first 2 or 3 days when things had not gotten worse. The thing about it, especially for my experience, was I think I got hit by all symptoms, right? So we are talking about
Headache?
don't have taste, smell, then you have headaches, and then at some point I got cough, I had diarrhea,
Shortness of breath.
shortness of breath,
Yeah.
I would vomit, all that. So combine all that, and I think for me between day 5 and day 9, that's when like everything went crazy on me. So all those things combined, how would I pick up a phone call if just supporting my own head is a problem, right?
Yeah.
You don't want
Any
to
noise, any noise to me was just like I can't take that, And I remember at some point, all of us sat down in the living room. So that's me, my wife, the whole household, except for the kids who are still running around. And we sat down, and all of us kind of sort of passed out. We are so tired. You feel, I don't know if it's fatigue, whatever it was, but it was hard. But for us, our experience was kind of weird because. So, let me backtrack a little bit. So we have this. Do I call it the COVID party?
COVID party.
So
Unknown.
I know COVID party. So
it was a no.
yeah. So
There was
we
somebody
had
who was a cardiac.
right.
Yeah.
So we had, we used to visit with each other. Just
Yeah, we had
my
a circle.
family. We had a circle, right? Unknowingly,
We had a patient zero that
we had, so we at my place and we're having a good time, and that was over the weekend. And my workplace usually does this weekly COVID test. So anyway, I go get it tested on Tuesday, and then work Wednesday, and then on my way out, all of a sudden I have this weird headache, and every time I get a weird headache, you can almost certainly tell something is not right, because a normal headache, whether it's like stress or your eyes and all that, you can tell it's like it's gonna come and go. But this one was, it felt weird, it felt different. So anyway, I got a call in the morning. Hey, you're positive. All right. So I panicked, of course, and I remember she told me that when I told her I'm positive, she said the way it made it look like it's like someone is dying or something like that. Anyway, so then we call the Caregivers. They go get tested.
That's us.
Yeah.
Yep.
All of them are positive. They went, I think, was it later that
I think
afternoon?
finally you pushed me to it, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll go. Whatever.
You know?
I know I have it, but I don't
Right.
need to know. But okay,
So
they
we
have
go.
to make it official, might as well.
They get tested, and everyone. So turns out my whole household, his whole
No, at
household.
that point, we forgot to get the kids tested.
Oh, did we?
No, we didn't get them tested
The first
until
time?
the week later. We were like, okay, maybe we should
Oh.
have. So
Okay.
we did.
And they were still
And-
positive.
We
They
were
were
still
positive.
positive 4 weeks later. Yes.
Right. So it's worrisome because now it's a whole household. So who's taking care of who? Right? So, but
And the people who you can count to be the caregivers, they're also down.
They're
So
also
that's
down,
how bad
you
it
know.
was because the whole circle now.
the whole circle is, you know. So
Like I can't even call the Kibes to bring me soup. So
Right.
it's like,
Yeah.
They're down too.
That's a double-edged sword because at least you knew, like you had free range in the house.
Yeah.
You could go anywhere in the house.
That's true, yeah. Because
No,
you
no,
know,
For me,
No, in the
for
beginning.
me, it was I was in. It
Quarantine.
felt like I was in prison
and
in the
Actually,
bed.
yeah, Mose,
I
actually, that's
felt
true.
that way. Yeah.
I remember that feeling, like, you know, it's like Miriam would come in, like, we had a table all the way up, and then she would put the food there. And then and disappear. I get out to get the food, like, man, this is like,
At least she gave you
it's
food.
like, you know, the way they throw the food.
There you. I'm out.
you have to
I can't even like.
that's funny.
Oh man,
Yeah, before you
it's
go
like
back.
I don't even see her. It's like she have to go first before I open the door and get the food. You know,
And guys, you might wonder why we are laughing. This is the same thing that happened to us. We got tested, 4 of us. Our 2 sons went fast. We laughed it off because by that time we knew we have it. We are not laughing because COVID is not serious. It is serious,
It's
but
serious.
it just
Yeah.
reached a point where you're given the lemon, hey, make the lemonade out of it. And we
Yeah.
knew to take care of ourselves. We knew to start self-medicating. We isolated. We're not going to the community out there. But we still had to laugh within ourselves. It's not like we were enjoying or celebrating. We tested positive, but it just happened.
Yeah.
We have no idea why it did. And yeah, as we said, we had a party at Shiro's and Wanyoko's, and I had been coughing prior, so maybe I'm the patient.
The truth
yeah.
comes
Let
out.
me know.
So I know. So I had been coughing, but I wasn't sick. I mean,
I never said nothing.
I didn't suspect myself anything. I was just coughing.
But you
and
see, and that's
that
Maybe it's the
Monday.
money
that's
from the
interesting.
disease spices.
That's interesting thing that, and that's why I think the stigma comes even right now. Okay, and I'm sure all of you have had this experience where you're in a public place and someone goes,
You're like,
what's the first thing that comes into your
really?
mind? You know,
COVID.
he had,
Running.
or
I
someone
Cough
sneezes.
anymore.
oh, you hold
know?
your breath. You
You
know?
know?
Until you were like maybe a couple.
Yeah. So it's it's turning out like it's even wrong to have a cold or a cough.
Even sneeze.
Yeah,
How,
even sneeze,
how are you
know?
sneezing in
Yeah,
public?
and that's not the case.
The
Yeah.
thing is, like, right now you can have a normal cold
Right.
because everybody think you have a cold.
You have it. Yeah.
Which is like,
And there's this hype about the vaccine. I know we were among the last people to take it. So
Oh,
for
they
some
were
reason-
rejecting it.
Yeah,
They
we
were
were not
anti-vaxxers.
sure we were going
No,
to
we were
take-
not, never anti-vaxxers.
You were an
We
anti-vax.
had the vaccine, and you know, all this time we were trying to hold on because we are like, we did not have the vaccine. We had the COVID, and we were giving the chance for those people
oh yeah, they
who did not have, because we knew we had the antibodies
Yeah,
right.
at that point. So when it was safe for us to do it, and when there was enough vaccine out there, we got vaccinated.
You played that.
I think everyone
yeah.
here is vaccinated.
Yep.
Yep.
So-
we are out.
Yeah, so we
Even
knew the
even
importance.
the 13-year-old
Yeah.
in the mix. is
We know the
vaccinated.
importance of vaccine, so we were positive, and still we went for the vaccine.
So Mose, what is the difference between me not taking the vaccine and you having taken the vaccine? What is the difference, chances when you get COVID and when I get COVID? Have you experienced such cases?
Yeah, if you've been sick and then got the vaccine, just to be in layman's terms, you stand a better chance of fighting another infection as compared to a person who never got sick but got the vaccine, or they got sick but never got the vaccine. Basically, you have double. Again, there's a lot that's not known about COVID, but at least you have a better chance. If you are vaccinated and you got sick, you stand a better chance of fighting that disease. As opposed to somebody who got sick and decided not to get the vaccine because the immunity doesn't last very long, according to the scientists.
The natural immunity, yeah.
The natural immunity doesn't last, it's not forever. And also with the vaccine, it's basically an inoculation. You're triggering your body by force.
Yeah.
But when you're sick, it just takes over naturally. Yeah. So that's what I would say.
Wow.
So, and there's a lot, being learned about COVID. It's a new thing. Science is trying to understand, about a lot of effects that's going on. And different people react differently with the
Right.
COVID.
Yeah.
And like us, when we got our vaccine, our first vaccine, it brought back almost everything we had when we were positive. We were down for 2 days. So, and even now we're still dealing with the fatigue and all that. I know here we were laughing the other day,
Brain
trying
fog.
to compare and, saying, like there's still the effect, the long haulers effect that we are still facing to date.
Of COVID, not of vaccine.
No, of COVID,
COVID.
Okay.
of COVID.
So to clarify.
We're still long haulers here, we still have that fatigueness going, different people have fatigue, the tiredness, it's still hanging
The brain
in there.
fog.
And the brain fog being a huge thing. So,
And being in healthcare, I would say, if there's a way of the patients to have access to their loved ones for companionship and support, that will help them a lot, because people despair when they're in anguish, and that's why a lot of people, I'll say a lot of patients that I've seen, they get worse instead of getting better, because you're isolated, you don't see anybody for five weeks, 6 weeks. The only people you see are people in masks and gowns, and they are
It's scary looking.
they're trying to spend the least amount of time in that room as possible.
Yeah.
So you are basically alone. You're basically alone, and then that's how a lot of people despair. They lose hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because healing is mental, and when you
Yeah,
lose
it's-
the mental battles, it's
Yeah.
it's hard to recover from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pauline, how was it dealing with a 2-year or 3? She was 3 then, Liana,
Yeah.
and your son.
You had a range, because you had a 4-year-old and a 60-year-old
I know.
in the same
Oh, yeah.
house.
What didn't
like
you
a-
cook in that house? What didn't you?
And
give
you
them?
too.
I think I forgot about myself.
Yeah.
At one point, I was like, okay, I have my husband who is coughing night and day, throwing up, can barely stand sitting down, or he had to lay down all the time. I have my mom here who I'm most worried about because she's over 65, and I'm like, oh my God, like what did we do to you? She had just come from Kenya. And then I have my kids just like, Mommy, what's for dinner today? Like, are we gonna eat lunch at all? What's going on? Why? And why are you taking a nap? You don't take a nap at all. Yeah, you take a nap. We need food in the house. And I can't smell anything at that point. I can't even stand food. And yeah, I mean, I think I just did it. I don't even know. I think I just forgot myself and just did it, and I think that helped me in a little bit. I feel like I don't even remember part of it because I think I was just like in the zone at that point. It's like kids gotta eat, people gotta feel better.
Yeah.
And he was so sick at one point, coughing at night and just laying down. I think at one point I just had to be like the mother. I was just like, you gotta get out of the house. You need to get out of this house. Go out there and go for a walk.
Yeah, for real. I
And thank
remember.
God he listened to me because I was like, you're gonna get better. You need to just get out of there and breathe some fresh air. And he listened.
I think that's what Mose is talking about. You have
Yeah.
to you have to have someone who's talking to you and all that, because if you listen to yourself,
Oh, you don't want
because
to do anything.
your body is literally telling you just
Yeah.
shut down, shut
And I
down.
think all the ladies out there will understand when I say, like, women, we take it a little differently, and I don't mean to put you men in the spot, but I feel like as a mother, a woman, you just have to be strong for the family, and
And it actually works well for COVID because
Yeah.
COVID needs you need your mind to be distracted with,
Yeah.
by something. Because if you are 100% focused on what is going on with you, you suffer more
Yeah.
and you despair more.
It is.
Because if you just one cough, then you are worried. What are my stats? What's going on with my body? Why am I feeling this? But if you're not thinking about that, it actually helps you get better.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it did, because I also had to work remotely, so I did that too. I think I only took a day off.
Wow.
Yeah,
You're a superwoman.
I did. I had to do it, and
That's great.
my son had virtual school. I had to still keep up with that. So,
Wow.
I mean,
And it's funny.
it was a good distraction. I think.
It's funny when you say about taste, because for us too, we lost taste and smell. And I remember when he came back, I had cooked some food for the kids and all that, and at a certain point they were complaining like, "This is too spicy, this is too salty," and I'm like, "Just eat it."
It's not enough.
Because I could not taste
Let me
it.
put some more.
I know. And when he came back, I tasted it, and I'm like, "Oh, I could not eat it
You are right.
myself.
Yeah.
I had to just get rid of that food. I had to trash it."
Oh.
And like it's just
So,
crazy.
so what made you make it more spicy or salty?
I didn't, at that
Taste
point I
it.
could not
Taste
taste it.
Yeah.
So I was just adding everything because I'm trying to taste it.
Yeah, and-
Something I cannot taste.
It's like it's not tasty. Let's add more salt. More salt.
Yeah.
And by the time we realized we had lost our taste and smell, like I think at that point.
Yeah, I don't think I realized it
Yeah.
at the beginning.
Yeah, even us we did not realize
Yeah,
it.
but I think my symptoms came fast in my house, and I think I was just like, whatever, I'm okay. It's just a cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't lose the taste, but I couldn't
I didn't either.
stand food.
Oh yeah.
I didn't either.
Oh man.
Anything like it's oily or it smells.
Yeah.
You know the way like you like.
Nausea.
Yeah. Not even that. Like the way you can smell the food
Like
like
the spice or whatever
being cooked. Like it's nice smell. Like
Yeah.
that,
It was a bad smell. It was
that
a
was-
wanna
turn
smell
yeah,
it?
it was a turn off. It was like
Yeah.
I can't.
I can't.
I take one bite. Oh, I'm like I wanna throw up. Yeah.
Get it out of my sight.
What? Because you need nourishment during that period. So
Oh, yes.
what happened with me? What actually made me get through it is drinking protein shakes.
Oh.
You need, just find a flavor that you like. I just keep drinking it, just to keep yourself nourished, and also drinking a lot of water.
Water. Yeah.
You have to make sure you're very well hydrated, because with the fevers and all that stuff, you're sweating a lot,
Yeah.
and you need to replenish that.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to kidneys to shut down or all this stuff shut down.
And
because
the
of
other thing
dehydration.
too, like there's one symptoms I don't know what it is. What about the skin? Why was he like?
When
I
you
don't know.
shower, when
The
the,
body
water
aches.
falls,
Those are
Why
body
was
aches.
body
yeah.
aches.
Body aches.
Oh,
Body-
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah.
come from
Yeah.
the body ache?
Yeah, there was a point. Yeah, I had some body aches for a short period of time, and it wasn't funny. Even laying down, I was sitting down. I had to sit down for at least 6 hours because laying down was my back. I could not stand it. And,
Yeah,
and,
it felt
and
like somebody was scratching you with something.
Even the
sharp.
clothes,
It's like
touch you,
even
anything that
Yeah,
touch
you-
you,
you don't wanna
so
see it
sensitive.
off.
You become so
Even
sensitive,
taking
it's
a
become-
shower with, you know, that to me was a problem.
The water
And for
pressure.
me, yeah, it was actually both like feeling like my skin is, you know, I can't stand that, and the fact that like anything touching my head at that point with the headaches and all that, I couldn't stand that.
And was medication doing anything for you?
Did you even try any medication?
For me.
With that, I think I took
For me.
one time. I took
I don't think I took anything.
I took something for my head, but really nothing
I
worked.
think I
Nothing was
tried to
working.
make some elderberry
No,
syrup.
Yeah, we-
mucinex.
That was the first
We
day.
did?
Yeah, we tried mucinex because
Oh, I did
remember
take
was
I did take
coughing.
the cough medication.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I bought you some
I-
coffee.
yeah.
I know we
I had
had
tried. I had tried.
steamed.
Yeah, I had tried everything. Tylenol wasn't working. Ibuprofen wasn't working. Cara went and got me something from like an alternative pain medicine. That wasn't working. She went and got me another one that didn't work. What actually helped, because we had prescriptions that were maybe 10 years old from surgery that we never actually disposed. I decided to start taking the hydrocodones, but those didn't even work. The only thing that worked for my headache was Dilaudid. That, again, was an old prescription that we still had them lying around.
Wow.
That was the only thing, and they did not actually take the headache away completely. It just made it just tolerable enough to be able to sit down and watch TV for 15 minutes, or do anything around in the room. Terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an experience.
It was just, I was the only one, myself and Carol, who never caught it in this whole group.
Yeah.
But you still had to deal with it.
But
You
we
were in
had to
school,
deal with it, yes.
working,
Yeah, you had to deal with
kids.
it, yeah.
So you were part of
Yeah,
it.
that was tough. That was
So
very
yeah,
tough.
so guys, that's our experience. You know, it was different experience. You can tell from different people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, our advice will be, you know, be careful. You know, and
Stay safe.
sometimes
And
it's
COVID
hard
is
to
real.
be careful and
COVID is real.
it's
Yeah, it's
So
very real.
just try
And
your
get
best.
It affected
vaccinated.
us, yeah.
Get vaccinated, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
And if you get sick, try to sleep on your stomach, because it will help your lungs. For me, that's not a problem, because I sleep on my stomach, so that can actually it was a blessing in disguise, because it never bothered me whatsoever. But if you ever get sick, God forbid, try to prone yourself as much as possible. It'll help your lungs.
Please. And exercise. You know,
Yeah.
your body will try to get you to shut down.
Yeah.
Try to get those lungs to
Try
work
to
out.
get up.
Yeah.
Get up and try to force yourself
Fresh
to do
air.
whatever.
And I'll tell you, it's not easy. You know,
yeah.
sometimes you want to mentally, and you know, like mentally you want to do it,
Oh,
but
you know
your
you
body
need to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
does not allow. You know, like you're in such pain and fatigue that you don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, bottom line, if you feel or you suspect you have COVID, just take precaution. Isolate yourself. Don't feel bad. It's not a stigma. I know it was before, but it is not a stigma. So just take care of yourselves or your loved ones, and it's gonna be well. That's all we had, unless someone else has an advice for you. But we all experience, and we're here all smiling. We're good.
Chilling. It's not a death penalty.
It's
Yeah,
not.
we survived.
Yeah, we survived.
No, it's not.
We made
So
it.
we still wear our masks.
Oh yeah, we still do. We still do.
Yeah, again,
And
thank you
social
guys for your
distance.
time. And it was Miss Zizi Lounge, COVID moment, just sharing
Right.
the good
Peace.
times.
Peace.
Peace out.
Peace out.